you doing? Welcome to Over and Over and Over again. My name is Richard, and this is the Watchalong. I apologise for the lateness. In case you have missed it, which I'm sure you haven't, but it is, just in case you're wondering. It is 1-0 to the Arsenal. Kieran Tierney it was with the goal just a few moments ago. Back in the side tonight. Of course, if a win for Arsenal tonight would, of course, see us top the group, and then we get the bye, of course, in the next round, don't we? So far, so good. It's quite a strong Arsenal team, although having said that, it's El Neni and Lokonga in midfield, so it's not actually that strong, is it? And Eddie and Nketiah up front. So good to see Reece Nelson back in the side again, following his 2 goals at the weekend. I say Kieran Tierney at left back with the goal. He nearly scored, didn't he, against PSV? No, not against PSV. It was against Bodo Glimt, wasn't it, when he hit the post? Rajandra's in the chat. Aidan, Rajandra, good to see you, my friend. Russ as well. Rajandra says 1-0 to the Arsenal. Indeed, it is 1-0 to the Arsenal. Arsenal are attacking the goal to our right in this first half. The clock end, obviously in the red and white kit, and Zurich are in a yellow kit with blue sleeves, which actually looks quite Arsenal-esque, doesn't it? Arsenal away-esque is what it looks like. A nice kit for them, but it is 1-0 to Arsenal. So what that means is we are going to be, if that stays like that, we are going to be winning the group. But Aaron Ramsdale was just kicked the ball out for a corner, actually, to Zurich, which wasn't the best clearance, was it? In the other game, it's still 0-0 between Bodo and PSV. Of course, if we don't win this game, and PSV would have to win their game if we draw, well, PSV would have to win the game anyway. And they are currently drawing 0-0, but headed out from Zurich, just headed over the crossbar out the near post from that corner. And it's going to be a goal kick to Arsenal. But sloppy there, though, from Arsenal, from Aaron Ramsdale. It's not a bad corner, actually. He's edge of 6-yard box. And it was Ility there. Alati, sorry, who headed that over the bar for Zurich, and it remains at 1-0. So that's so far so good. We've played 27 minutes here at the Emirates Stadium tonight. It is, I say, Arsenal 1, Zurich 0, which would be good enough to see us top the group and get that bye into the next round, which will be very, very important because it means that we get a round away from the Champions League dropout teams. Of course, we could meet them later on, couldn't we, when it comes down to the next round after that? But, it gives us 2 less games. That's the most thing that I'm concerned about, is that we play 2 less games. With the squad that we've got, the least games that we play, the better, as far as I can see. Anyway, Kevin's in the chat. Aidan, mate, good to see you. I hope you are well and enjoying the game. Of course, we've got a big game on Sunday as well, haven't we? Away at Chelsea. One of the teams that we are competing with and it's for the top 4. They haven't had the best of starts, but I'm sure they will improve as the season goes on under Graham Potter. So if we can get 3 points on Sunday with the position that we're already in, that would be a fantastic result, wouldn't it? But we need to finish the job here first. It's only a 1-0 lead. We've seen how fragile they can be in recent weeks. And I say if Zurich was to snatch a draw here and PSV were to win, we would be second in the group, and then we'd have to play that extra game against one of the Champions League dropouts, which will obviously be a lot more difficult than if we can avoid that situation happening. And so far, so good. We've got the lead. Although what I've seen in the game so far hasn't been, it's been a little bit scrappy. It's, when I saw the midfield of El Neni and Lokonga, I didn't feel with a lot of confidence because we know what those two in the past have been like. It doesn't really work, I don't think. But anyway, it's good to see Reece Nelson, I say, in the team again. He's just on the ball now, actually on this near side. He's done really well there, Reece Nelson. Holds off 2 challenges. He's now having a run into the centre, but that ball was cut out. And now Zurich can have a counter-attack, but that's well cut out there actually at the back there by Rob Holding. Good to see him back in the team again. We know that he's not going to play much in the Premier League, is he? Well, he's probably not going to play at all in the Premier League, but he is getting a game tonight. So Eddie and Nketiah over on that far side. Plays one to Kieran Tierney again. Pulls it back at the near post. Nelson was in again, but he couldn't keep that down. Fired that over the crossbar there. Reece Nelson at the near post. A good run, though. He scored a goal like that at the weekend, didn't he? Making that late run into the near post area. Kieran Tierney found him with the pullback. It was good play, actually, from Arsenal. And they're just showing the goal again here. It just fell there to Kieran Tierney on the edge of the box. A good first-time strike, actually. And that was Arsenal's first shot on target of the game, the goal from Kieran Tierney. It's no surprise that I say we've looked a little bit disjointed so far. a lot of changes to the usual Premier League team, and we've seen in some of these other Europa League games we've struggled to find any rhythm actually, but we've got the lead. That's the main thing. Jesus have a lovely back heel into Nketiah inside the box. Eddie Nketiah does well, but he's been drifted a little bit wide. It plays back. It's going to be a chance for Vieira. Oh, it hits Gabriel Jesus. Reece Nelson with a follow-up, and that's blocked as well. And the referee has given an offside anyway. It was Gabriel. I'm sure Gabriel Jesus blocked Fabio Vieira's shot that was on target. It looks like it was going to be 2-0 for a moment. Lovely back heel from Jesus. Eddie did well inside the penalty area, played it back to Fabio Vieira. In fact, it did hit Gabriel Jesus in front of the goal, but he was offside, and that's why the flag went up. Del Boy Gunner TV. How you doing, Del? Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. Please check out his channel as well. He does some very interesting stuff over on there. Good content that he brings as well, all the way from Ireland. Good to see Del. Hope you're enjoying the game. And so far, so good for Arsenal. 1-0, half an hour played, and you know, we just need to, I think we need a second goal, don't we? Just to make sure that we can finally settle ourselves down and put us in a much stronger position, because a 1-0 lead is never quite enough, is it? No matter who you're playing. Fabio Vieira has just gone down there. It was Aliti there with the foul. He's going to get a yellow card, the defender. He doesn't seem too happy about that, actually. It seemed as though Fabio Vieira just overran the ball. And then he was stretching to try to get it. And the defender came across, Aliti. And he did commit the foul. And he has got himself a yellow card. He's protesting, and some of his teammates are protesting as well. We'll have a look at it again. He did sort of overrun the ball a little bit. He did dive in. He did dive in, actually, the defender. The ball's just ahead of it. He got to the ball first. He did get to the ball first there, but he did dive in a little bit. I don't think you can have too many complaints about the yellow card, actually. Aliti there, number 6, the Kosovan defender. And it is going to be a free kick to Arsenal. But Fabio Vieira's got a little bit of an injury problem. Let's hope it's not too serious. I'm sure he's going to be okay. He's back on his feet again now. Kevin says, a bit sloppy in our passing from keeper through to midfield. Zurich not pressing us really. So we are a bit sloppy. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, you know, this midfield is never going to be a great midfield, is it, unfortunately? You know, but this is the backups that we've got. And they do need game time. They need to play. And, you know, the situation that we're in is that they're not quite good enough, are they? I do think that's an issue. They're not quite good enough. And so when they play, it kind of shows. I mean, Elneny always gives 110%. You know what you're going to get off him, but he just maybe lacks that quality. And Lokonga is still very young and still learning, isn't he? It was Gabriel actually with that header from that free kick that's drifted wide. Fabio Vieira actually took that free kick, so he's obviously fired from his injury. Gabriel just got on the end of that, about a penalty spot it was, but the header was directed off target, and it's a goal kick to Zurich. Eddie's pressing high up the pitch here, actually forcing Zurich defender back towards his own goal. And he does well, Eddie, but he's conceded a free kick. It was good defending in the end there from Camberi, the Swiss defender for Zurich. Of course, this is the second Thursday in a row that a Zurich team have visited the Emirates, because, of course, the women's team played the Arsenal women last Thursday in the Women's Champions League, didn't they? Arsenal won that game 3-1, and a similar result tonight would be very much appreciated, wouldn't it, for Arsenal, and would put us win us the group. But there's still a long way to go in this game. We've played 33 minutes. It is Arsenal 1, Zurich 0. Kieran Tierney with the goal. A nice first-time strike from the edge of the area after 17 minutes. But Zurich are now trying to come forward themselves. That's a good tackle by... Oh, we thought it was a good tackle, but it's actually given us a free kick by Rob Holding with his nice new hair. Looking very good, isn't he, these days, Rob Holding? He did catch him. I don't think there's a doubt about that. Rajendra says there, Aliti missed the ball. I don't know. I thought he got the ball. He just dived in, didn't he? And that's why he got booked. It was maybe a little bit over aggressive, the challenge, more so than it perhaps needed to be, if we're totally honest. But anyway, Fabio looks as though he's okay, which is the main thing, isn't it? You know, that's a ball played forward through the middle there. But again, Rob Holding's there doing well. But actually, he's just lost the ball. And now as you're coming forward, they're going to have a shot from the edge of the box. It's deflected. Good save from Aaron Ramsdale. It was Rob Holding, I think, actually deflected it. It was his mistake in the first place there. It was a shot came in from Okita. And now Arsenal got a chance to break away on that far side with Eddie Nketiah. That was sloppy again from Arsenal. We don't want to keep doing that, do we? We give Zurich too many chances, and it only takes one, doesn't it? At this moment in time, I say a draw could see us lose this group. Well, not lose the group, but not win it and come second. And then we would have the extra game, which would be disaster, wouldn't it, having won the first 4 games. Anyway, Ben White's now trying to come forward, but he's overrun that ball. But Zurich, they're playing themselves into a little bit of trouble, actually, and they've conceded a corner. Katic there with the clearance, the Croatian, wearing something around his head, actually. I think he's obviously got some sort of injury. But yeah, a bit sloppy play there. They put themselves under a bit of pressure at the back there, and in the end, Katic just blasted the ball away. It was actually El Neni that deflected that earlier shot there from Okita, and Aaron Ramsey had to sprawl down to his right-hand side to keep that out, but it was a decent save. We've now got a corner which Fabio Vieira is going to take from this near side. Arsenal's right, curls it with his left foot towards the edge of 6 yards. Header comes in. Oh, that's a really good save actually from the goalkeeper. The header there, I don't know if it was that Rob Holding again. It's Brecker there, the goalkeeper. No, it was Eddie Nketiah's header actually. Looks like it was Eddie Nketiah's header. That was going in the top corner there at the near post. Good header. Decent save. It was fairly close to the goalkeeper, actually, when you see the replay of it. He made it look good for the cameras, but it was a good save. He had to be saved, and he did well. Rajendra says there, the protesting of the Zurich player will show their fouling play. Yeah, possibly. I mean, in the end, it was a yellow card, and he did catch Fabio, didn't he? The ball just run through, though, to the goalkeeper, Brecker, who played quite well, I seem to remember, in that first game against us, didn't he? We sort of struggled a bit in that game, didn't we? We got the lead with Manquillos, and then we were pulled back before half-time with a penalty, and we struggled after that, didn't we? And in the end, we did manage to get the victory with Eddie's goal. Of course, that was on the night, as if you remember, of the Queen's death, wasn't it? Remember that news came through at half-time, didn't it, in that game in Zurich? And then, of course, we had a little bit of a break in the football, didn't we? Anyway, it's a corner to Arsenal. Again, a little bit of sloppy defending there from Zurich. And the ball's gone out for a corner again to Arsenal over on this near side, which Fabio Vieira is going to take again. PSV actually put 10 goals past Zurich in the 2 games, 5 in each match. And I think they are vulnerable defensively. And maybe if Arsenal can get a second goal before half-time, you'd imagine that's going to be enough to put us in control of this group. Fabio Vieira with a corner. It comes into the near post. This time, Zurich do defend that a little bit better. It's cleared away, and now they've got an opportunity maybe to launch a counter-attack over on that far side. But Arsenal pick the ball up again, and coming forward on the far side with Gabriel Jesus, pings across in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed out, actually. It comes out now to Fabio Vieira on this near side for Arsenal. Whips across in. Header comes in from Rob Holding, still up from that corner. And it's going to be another corner headed behind there by the defender for FC Zurich. Katic again. He's putting his head protector back on again. He must be nursing some sort of head injury from earlier game, I would imagine. But he's headed that behind for a corner to Arsenal again. This one's over on the far side in front of all those Zurich fans in that corner. It is Arsenal 1, Zurich 0. This corner comes in towards the 6-yard box. The goalkeeper gets nowhere near it, but he's a defender that heads it away. It's chipped back in again. I think it was Kieran Tierney. It was indeed, but it's gone behind for a goal kick. Arsenal just exerting a little bit more pressure now as we move towards half-time. And we could do with that second goal, really, couldn't we? We saw, it's just one mistake it was there from Rob Holding a few moments ago. Gave Zurich an opportunity. The shot that was deflected, and that's how easy it can be. One mistake, and you can find it. We could find ourselves level, and then we could be in a little bit more, have a little bit more problems in this group. But it is still 1-0. We have been the better team, even though we're not anywhere near our fluent best in this game so far. But there is a lot of changes, as we say, to the side. Kieran Tierney's now underneath this ball over on that far side. Tries to head it out, but actually not very far. And Zurich do keep the ball in. But Tierney wins it back again. Exchanges passes with Zambi. Lokonga comes forward. Kieran Tierney down that far side. That's a good ball. Finds Eddie Nketiah. Gets it back again. Tierney side there. Pulls it back to the edge of the box. Fabio Vieira is 2-0. It's blocked on the edge of the 6-yard box by a Zurich defender. El Neni tries a shot from distance. And again, Zurich managed to clear it. That was a good counter-attack, that actually. Lovely play from Kieran Tierney. Pulled the ball back to Fabio Vieira. Shot on target. It hit a defender and was cleared away. Ben White, though, now for Arsenal on the edge of the penalty area on his near side. Fabio Vieira again. That's twice now he's had shots from similar positions One hit his own teammate, Gabriel Jesus, and that one hit a Zurich defender. So it remains at 1-0. But Arsenal coming forward now over on that far side with Eddie Nketiah does well. He's won a throw to Arsenal right by the corner flag there over on that far side in front of those Zurich fans come over from Switzerland, of course, for this game. But this was a good move down that far side. Kieran Tierney pulled it back. Fabio Vieira's shot hit the defender. In fact, the goalkeeper was probably going to save it when you look at the replay. But it was a good move from Arsenal. And Fabio Vieira's effort was deflected away. But it is a throw to Arsenal right over on that far side in front of those Zurich fans. Arsenal's left. Kieran Tierney is going to take it. They've got a drum going there. The Zurich fans thrown in towards the near post. Gabriel flicks it on, but it's a Zurich defender that clears it away. It's going to be another throwback over on that far side again, which Kieran Tierney again is going to take. We'll see what this might bring. Kevin says a bad finish from Vieira. It needs to finish if he wants to be in the team. Yeah, it wasn't a great finish. It was on target, but I say it did hit the defender, and the goalkeeper behind him would probably have saved it. It was looked as though it was going fairly close to the goalkeeper. It was now an injury actually over on that far side to Katic again, the guy who's been wearing that headband. He's clearly got some sort of prior injury to his head, and he's got a head injury again. So I'm not sure how much longer he's going to be able to continue here. We have played 41 minutes, so we are coming down towards half time. It was just from that corner there, actually. It was a good header. Oh, and he did just catch Gabriel's head there as he headed that ball away from that corner at the near post. Good defensive header, actually. But he did crash into Gabriel just behind him, and looks like a facial injury rather than a head injury. A bit of a bloody nose there for the Croatian defender. I'm sure he's going to be okay to continue. Actually, he looks fine. And the players will come over to this near side for a drink. So we're only 3.5 minutes away from half time. And hopefully Arsenal are going to go in with a lead at half time, which is what we wanted to see. And that'll be halfway to completing the job and winning this group, which of course is what we all want. And PSV are actually 1-0 up now in Bodo Glimt as well. So that what that would mean is it actually is that if PSV were to win that game away in Norway, then Arsenal would definitely need to win this game. A draw would see PSV win the group. And that would be a real disaster, wouldn't it? From the position that we were in, having beaten PSV a couple of weeks ago, not to win this group would be a real disaster, wouldn't it? But so far so good. We're winning the game. That's the main thing. We can only do our job. And yeah, it won't matter what PSV do then, will it? It's only going to matter if we don't win. But so far we are. And to be fair, Zurich have really threatened in this game. There was, the one chance that they had was down to one of our own mistakes, wasn't it? And that's, what we're going to have to cut out. Because I say, a set piece, a mistake, and suddenly it's 1-1, and the whole complexion of the game changes, doesn't it? And possibly the group as well, I say, with PSV winning. So anyway, it's going to be a goal. It's going to be a ball from a goalkeeper's hands. Brecker goes long into the centre circle. Good header from Sambi Lokonga, but only falls to a Zurich player. And Zurich are going backwards again. They haven't really shown a lot of attacking intent, it has to be said. In the other games tonight, in Group B, Dynamo Kiev 0, Fenerbahce 1, Rennes 1, AEK 0, Betis 2, Helsinki 0, Roma 0, Ludogorets 1, and in Group D, Sporting 1, Malmo 0, and Union 0. And earlier on, Manchester United won 1-0 away in Real Sociedad, which should put them through, I believe. Let me just let's have a look at the tables as they stand. So, that's just some of the Champions League tables. We don't want to see that, do we? We're not interested in that. Anyway, they're the results so far tonight in the Europa League. And I say PSV are winning, so we do need to win because we've got to match their result or better their result, but certainly match it and we are at the moment, so everything's fine. We've got a throw on this near side, which Ben White's going to take. It's just about on halfway, throws it forward, looking for Fabio Vieira, lets it run on to Gabriel Jesus to Reece Nelson. Now Kieran Tierney's coming forward, the goal scorer for Arsenal. We're into the last few seconds of the first half. There'll be a bit of stoppage time. Eddie Nketiah draws the ball into the near post. Again, though, it's well defended by Zurich. Well, it isn't actually. Second time the defender there tried to be a bit clever there. Santini did a couple of little keepy uppies just on the edge of his own goal line, and then as he went to clear it away, it hit his knee and went behind for a corner, which was quite funny. It was Selena, sorry, that made that mistake. It's a corner to Arsenal, going over on that far side. Reece Nelson is going to take this. Gabriel Jesus is hanging off on that far post. Is he going to get there for this one? Gabriel's in instead. Gabriel wins the header, but puts it wide. In fact, I think the referee has given a free kick anyway. We're going to have 2 minutes of stoppage time, which we've just come into now. Gabriel did maybe push the defender in the back there as he came up there. In fact, he didn't actually get on the ball. The defender did. But the referee's given a free kick anyway to Zurich inside their penalty area. We are into the 2 minutes of stoppage time. But so far, so good for Arsenal. 1-0, and that will do us. But we could do with another goal, couldn't we, just to settle the nerves down, especially as the second half progresses. It's going to get more and more nervy, isn't it, if it stays at 1-0. Rob Holding there with that clearance. It was a goal kick, was flicked on there actually by Zurich. And if Holding hadn't got there, we would have been in a little bit of trouble there. But anyway, he did. It's now a throw on this near side, which Ben White's going to take for Arsenal. We're now into the final minute of stoppage time at the end of this first half. A first half that's not been a great from Arsenal, but we've got the goal, we've got the lead. And ultimately, that's the most important thing. That's all that matters, isn't it, in this game? It's just getting the result, getting the win that's going to win us the group, which, then I say, gives us a slightly easier pathway after the Christmas or the World Cup break. But, of course, as the competition goes on, we're going to have to face some good teams, aren't we, if we're going to progress through the tournament and get to the final and hopefully win it. But it does make the pathway slightly easier, doesn't it, to win the group? So that's what the aim is, and that's what we need to be doing, and hopefully that's what we will do. But we're just coming towards half-time. In fact, there goes a half-time whistle. It's been an okay first half. It's been a satisfactory first half, certainly in terms of result for Arsenal. Kieran Tierney's goal after 17 minutes has given us the lead. A little bit of a disjointed performance, it has to be said. Zurich haven't been great. They've not really caused us too many problems. And yeah, it's 1-0 at the break, but I do think we need that second goal just to really settle us down. So far so good on this final Europa League group evening of this particular group stage. Jane says there, the drums are wrecking my head. Zurich are poor. Yeah, they are pretty poor. Yeah, I agree. They've not really posed us too many problems, have they? And this is a sort of game where we should win, let's be honest. We should be winning, and we should be winning reasonably comfortably, even though it is a fairly a much changed Arsenal side. It is still a game that we should comfortably win. And, if we do, that's good enough, isn't it? But I say only 1-0. Whoever you're playing, you just never know, do you? Anything can happen. I say a set piece, a mistake, who knows? But let's hope that we're going to be able to see this through. I'm sure we will. And then we can go on and look forward to the knockout stage, of course, in the new year. But a lot of football to come between now and then, isn't it? We've got the World Cup starting in a couple of weeks' time. We've only got 2 more Premier League games, of course, before then. And, of course, the Carabao Cup game against Brighton next week. And then that's it, isn't it? The game against Wolves a week on Saturday. And that'll be the end of it, won't it? For the time being until the World Cup's over. So, yes, it's a strange season. It's been a strange season so far, and obviously it's going to be even more strange, isn't it, with this World Cup break not quite in the middle of the season, but sort of halfway through things, and we've had a lot of games, haven't we? It's been a bit of a strange one for me, but anyway, it is what it is, and luckily for us, it's gone pretty well for us, isn't it? Because we're top of the Premier League. Hopefully, we're going to be top of this group as well, and then of course we can then look forward to. Hopefully, a nice run in the second half of the season in Europe, because the one thing in our history, we've got a great history, and if you've been watching Melvin's Highbury Matters show If you've been watching the Arsenal Oddity show, that series that I've been doing, you know what a great history Arsenal have got. But the one thing missing really is real European success, isn't it? Just those 2 European trophies, and none at all since 1994. And that's not really good enough, is it, for a club like Arsenal? You know, we should be winning. We should have won more European trophies. So I think we've got to start to put that right. And this is a great opportunity this year in this competition. It really is. And let's hope we can do it. We can go on and have a really good run. And who knows, maybe add a 3rd European trophy. And no matter what else happened in this season, that would be a fantastic result, wouldn't it? To win a European trophy, of course, particularly this one, because it would mean entry into the Champions League next season, wouldn't it? And that is got to be the aim of the club. I'd say that's got to be the minimum aim. Anything less than Champions League football next season, this season would have been a failure again. So, yeah, we've got 2 chances, one in the Premier League and one in this European competition. And so far, everything's going as we could have hoped, top of the Premier League and top of this group with 45 minutes left. We've just got to see this game out. And you'd imagine, we've got some strength on the bench to come on if we did need to get another goal. If Zurich, for whatever reason, managed to find a goal, then we have got some strength on the bench to come on, haven't we? It's good to see Zinchenko back on the bench as well and stuff like that. Odegaard's on there, Saka's on there. He's managed to get himself fit, which is great, isn't it? So yeah, shouldn't be too many issues for us. But but you never know. You can't take anything for granted, can you? Anyway. Rajendra says there 1-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah, indeed. And Rajendra says George Graham wins 1-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that was our last European trophy, wasn't it? Where the famous 1-0 to the Arsenal. It was in that. It was in the run to that final, wasn't it? The semi-final against Paris Saint-Germain, when that 1-0 to the Arsenal song was born, really, wasn't it? So yeah, it would be nice to do it again. It's been a very, very long wait, hasn't it? But a long way to go, and the most important thing for now is just winning this game, winning this group, and then we can focus all our attention on what is going to be a very, very big game and a very difficult game against Chelsea, as we know, on Sunday. And yes, they're not in the best of forms at the minute either. They haven't won any of their last 3 Premier League games. I don't know if you saw my match review today. I was looking at some of that, but I say Graham Potter's still learning, isn't he? Learning about the players. And of course, there's going to be one certain Chelsea player, I'm sure, that's going to be really up for that game and really, really kind of looking to try to score a goal against us. You can imagine what he'll do if he does. So it's an important game for us anyway. I say, at this point, where we stand at the moment, where Chelsea are, if we win this game, that puts us to me, it's a big statement. Winning away from home at one of our so-called top 4 rivals, they are. And that would be a massive statement victory, wouldn't it? And it would really increase that lead that we've got over Chelsea at this point. It's going to be really important, but it's going to be tough away from home, isn't it? I'm sure we would all be reasonably satisfied with a draw. I know I would. But Andrew says there should have been 3-0 to the Arsenal, but hitting our own players. Well, I think one of them definitely did, yeah. Shane says there, love KT. He is the angriest celebration to a goal, indeed. KT and Nelson playing good. Would you take off Jesus for something? Well, I wouldn't yet. Let's get the second goal and then maybe think about that. But, I mean, to be honest with you, at this moment in time, this game is more important, isn't it? Because we really do have to win this group. We have to win this group. So, yeah, I do feel as though this game for now is more important. Let's get the second goal. And then once the job's done, then take Jesus off. Yeah, rest him for Sunday. I think one of the reasons he's played, apart from the fact we need to win the game, is maybe Arteta feels as though this is not a position where he can get a goal, get his confidence back for Sunday. And that may be more important at this point. I'm sure, he's looking fit. He's not struggling, is he? So I'm sure I would maybe be tempted to keep him on to get him a goal, because I feel if once he's got a goal, I think his confidence will go and he will go up. I mean, and then he'll be able to maybe go on and have a really good run going forward into the rest of the season. I think that's important. So yeah, maybe that's one bit of the thinking behind him playing, and maybe I would keep him on until he's maybe scored a goal. if he can score a goal. So that would be my kind of feelings with it, really. But anyway, let's see. Regeneron says Jesus is our captain. Here he is tonight. Yeah, he's one of our captains in the group, isn't he? John says, "How you doing, John? How you doing, by the way?" He says, "Hi, Richard. Just joining the chat now as I'm home from work. Have I missed much apart from Cheney's goal?" No, not really. It's been a bit of a disjointed Arsenal performance. A lot of changes, obviously, to the team. Zurich aren't particularly good, it has to be said. It was a good goal from Kieran Tierney. Lovely strike, first time from the edge of the box with his left foot. And it's an important goal as well because we need to win. And it was a good goal. John says, hi to all in the chat. Hope you're all well. Yeah, thanks for that, John. Yeah, hope you're doing well as well, mate. No, I mean, I'd say it's satisfactory so far. It's not fantastic. It's been disjointed, but ultimately winning the game. Zurich aren't up to much. And you'd imagine we should get the job done and win this group, and it'll be great. And then we can put this to bed. We'll be putting everything to bed, won't we? In a couple of week or so's time, won't we, for the World Cup break? But yeah, we need to make sure that we get this done, and we can forget about Europe for the time being and focus on the Premier League games, this side of the World Cup, and then straight away afterwards, because we've got some really big games when we come back, haven't we? The first game, Boxing Day, West Ham, ain't going to be easy, is it? Let's be honest. So, we'll be needing to be firing straight back, but it's difficult to know, isn't it, how this is going to work out, this World Cup break. It's been said plenty of times, hasn't it? Football's about momentum, and we've got momentum at the moment, aren't we? We're winning games, and that's going to be broken by this World Cup, isn't it? And we don't know what players are going to come back injured and all these other things that we don't know about yet. It's unknown, isn't it? We're not really going to know what the outcome's going to be, but all we can do is win the games we've got between now and the World Cup, and then when everyone comes back, let's hope that's enough, that we can keep going and get back on another run. But yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I suppose, having said that, though, at this moment in time, I think the World Cup's coming at a bad time for us when we have got momentum. But if we were to lose to Chelsea and say we were to lose to Wolves, then maybe the World Cup would have come at a good time, because we've got a break when we are just going on a bad run. So you just don't know. Yeah, it's very hard to say. We're just going to have to take it for what it is and then see what happens in Christmas, on Boxing Day, when we come back and we start again. But it is almost like starting a new season, isn't it? Maybe we should call it a different season. We won the league this season, and we'll start a new season in December and start from scratch. And then if we don't win that one, well, at least we've won one of the two leagues this season. John says there, thanks, Richard. Informative. No problem, mate. It hasn't been the greatest performance from Arsenal, put it that way. But we're in control of this game, and I say Zurich aren't up to much, really. They had one big opportunity when Rob Holding dallied on the ball, and it was a shot from the edge of the box. It was from Oketu. It was deflected actually by El Neni, and Aaron Ramsdale had to make a save. But yeah, they've not really threatened too much Zurich. They're not very good, and I'll be amazed if we don't win this game now. But you never know. You just never know, dear. Regeneron says, all we want wins for Arsenal. Yeah, of course, that's what we want to see. Regeneron says, all the time, because we are invincible. Well, we're not quite invincible, are we? Because we've lost a game in the Premier League. So we've lost 2 games in the season. But it doesn't matter if you win or it doesn't matter if you lose games. If you end up winning the league, it doesn't matter, does it? Most teams lose a game, don't they? John says, hard to call game on Sunday for Chelsea. They weren't impressive via Greb, but it's Chelsea. It's Stamford Bridge. Exactly. And, at home, they're going to be difficult to beat, aren't they? We know that. We are going to have to play. See, I think away from home, our form recently hasn't been great, has it? PSV was poor. Southampton, we dropped off badly in the second half. Leeds, we were struggling to hold on. Even before that, we played away at Bodo. Glimt wasn't a great performance. We were fortunate to win that game. So our away form hasn't been great. And Chelsea at home are good. They're difficult to beat at home. So yeah, it's going to be a difficult game. It is definitely going to be a difficult game. We're going to have to play well. And who knows? But, it's an opportunity, isn't it, to really put a statement down. And I do think if we win at Chelsea on Sunday, then suddenly you're looking at it and thinking, okay, that's one of the games, you look at the fixture list, and it's how we perform in the big away games that I'm really looking at the improvements. That's where we've fallen down in the past, against teams like Manchester City, against teams like Liverpool away, Tottenham away. I know we've won away from home the last 2 seasons at Chelsea. Hasn't really helped us in the end, has it? They've still finished above us, and we've not got in the top 4. But I feel as though there was slight circumstances around those 2 wins at Chelsea. In the game in 2021, it was just was it just before they played in the cup final, wasn't it? And I think their focus was just after, and then last season it was just after they won a semi-final, and their focus maybe was slightly different to ours on those 2 games. So this one, we're both going into it with no other distractions. Chelsea have qualified out the Champions League group. We should hopefully have won this group. So this is going to be a big test. Our first real test away from home, isn't it? The first big team we've played away from home in the Premier League this season. So it's a big game for us, and it's a statement opportunity for us to say, you know what, we're here, and we're gonna be putting out our best challenge that we can. Whereas a poor performance, if we lose, then there's going to be a few more questions, isn't there? A few more questions raised, I suppose. But we'll see. John says there, Mourinho with Roma are 1-0 down. They need to win. Yeah, no, I've just saw they were 1-0 down. Yeah, struggling. That's a shame, isn't it? Shane says, January is so important for us, momentum-wise and recruitment. It is. And we need to buy. I think there's no doubt about that. The squad depth isn't big enough, is it? The squad's not big enough to compete for the Europa League and in the Premier League for the top 4. And we've given ourselves a little bit of a cushion over a lot of the teams that we're fighting against for that top 4, haven't we? We've put ourselves in this position, but it's only 12 games. There's still a long way to go. We do need to strengthen in January. You can see, when we're playing some of these games tonight, looking at the players that come in, are they good enough? If they had to play, if we had 2 or 3 injuries second half of the season, I'd be worried. So yeah, I mean, we do need to strengthen, and I agree with that. I think it is going to be massive January. I'm not sure we're going to spend a lot of money though. I'm not sure we're going to bring in many players. I've got to be honest. I'm not sure if we will. We should, and we need to, and I hope we do, but I'm not sure if we're going to. But we'll see. Regina says, I'm a supporter wanting wins all the time for Arsenal and consider them invincible. Well, we can consider them invincible, but you're only invincible if you don't lose a game. Well, unfortunately, we have. Regina says it's disappointing. Of course, it is disappointing. We all get disappointed when we lose, but it's more about the long-term situation. Actually, they're making a substitution, Zurich. Mash Sanzo's coming on for Rona for Zurich. So looks like a slightly more attacking change there for them. So maybe they fancy they've got an opportunity to get something here, maybe, when it's only 1-0. Who knows? Regenda says there, especially during the Wenger years after 2006. Yeah, I mean, we had to go through that period, didn't we? We had to go through that transition with the stadium and whatever. And we did the best that we could do in the circumstances, I guess. Regenda says they're strong, quick player, midfielder, strong striker. John says Virgin Media Ireland are showing all of Arsenal's games in Europa League. Oh, are they? Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, well, it's on BT Sport here in England. So, anyway, we have kicked off second half. Arsenal are 1-0 ahead. We are attacking a goal to our left in this second half, which is the North Bank, which is the end that we maybe slightly prefer attacking into, although this season it's not. And until Sunday, when we scored 4 goals in the second half at that end, we hadn't made much difference this season, actually. But we are attacking it now. I've got a free kick. There was a foul there on Sambi Lakonga midway inside the Zurich half on this left-hand side. Well, it's about, 25 yards in from this near touchline on the left. So midway inside at the Zurich half. Very, very early in the second half. We played, 40 seconds. A free kick straight away. That long ball played forward, and it was a foul on Sambi Lakonga. Reece Nelson and Fabio Vieira are over this free kick. There's an opportunity for... Is it going to be Nelson maybe? Or I think Fabio Vieira's got his arm up. Maybe it's going to be him to take it with his left foot. In fact, it is Fabio Vieira towards the penalty spot. Header comes in. It goes all the way to the far post. It's going to be a goal, is it? Oh, it's put over the bar from Jesus. Was it saved? He looks frustrated there. He bangs his head against the post behind the goal. It's got a rubber thing on it, so he's not going to hurt himself. But it was a good chance there. If he did hit the back of the goalkeeper, it's a good save, actually. But again, these are the sort of chances where your centre forward should be putting them away. He should put that away. There was 2 or 3 on Sunday against Forest he should have put away. He should have put that one away. And it's a decent enough save. But it's a chance he's got to put away that, you know, a one-on-one with a goalkeeper, 4 yards out, he's got to put that away, and he didn't. That's disappointing, that is. Again, from Jesus, lacking a lot of confidence, isn't he? But then he's not that 25 goal, 30 goal striker, is he? John says, have Arsenal a Carabao Cup game next week? And if so, definitely the B team to play. Yeah, we're playing Brighton on Wednesday at home. So yes, I mean, I don't like to throw away competitions, because any competition that you can win is worth winning. And, you know, we haven't won the League Cup either for a long time, have we? Even longer than since we've won a European trophy. So it'd be nice to win that competition as well, wouldn't it? But yeah, I think our priorities lie elsewhere. The way I look at it, though, is that for me, we've got a big break coming up. So why not go big in that game? We've only got one more game after that against Wolves on a Saturday evening. So we've got plenty of turnaround time. Go pretty strong against Brighton. Let's get through. And then after Christmas, when we come back, we've still got 4 competitions to be in. You know, I would do that, because of the fact we've only got one game left after that Brighton game. I'm not necessarily saying play the full Premier League team. What I'm saying is go pretty strong. I would go pretty strong and win that game. And then I say we've still got another competition to look forward to in January. And Arsenal just won another free kick. It's going to be a yellow card. Jesus there was fouled. It is the defender Katic there, who's been in the action tonight, hasn't he? So far, he's a little push on the back there on Jesus. He went down quite easy, the Brazilian, but it was a foul, and it's a yellow card for the Croatian Katic, but it's probably how you say it. John says, I totally agree. Yeah, no, I mean, I personally would do that. You know, if it was a normal season when we had a big run of games, you know, coming up to Christmas and stuff, and you won't want to risk the injuries, and I would agree. Say, you know what, let's play the B team in that game, and that doesn't matter too much. But I think in the circumstances, we may as well try to get through. We may as well. And I say the more competitions that we've got in the new year, for me, the better, because I feel as though the more that we've got, the more chance that we've got of at least winning something. And I'd like to see us win something, yes. If we only won the League Cup and didn't finish in the top 4, that would be a disappointing season, wouldn't it? But at least we'd have some sort of compensation, the fact that we see us win at Wembley, our cup final and stuff. So, but yeah, let's see what happens. Let's try and win that game. I want to win that game, go through, and then go from there. But Zurich are now coming forward, actually, over on that far side. What we don't want to do is concede a goal in this game now, because we are in control of our own destiny. We're in control of the group as things stand. But I say one goal from Zurich changes it all, and their noisy fans behind that goal, they are now attacking, getting behind their team, and who knows? We just need to be careful. And they've got an opportunity to get the ball into the box. Are they on that far side? But no, they haven't, because Ben White's going to clean it up. And I say Zurich don't look particularly good. And the fact that PSG scored 10 goals against them in the 2 games, I see no reason why we can't go on and get a few more in the second half here. The second half's been quite scrappy, actually. A lot of free kicks. Jesus has just been fouled again. It's going to be another free kick to Arsenal over on that far side. There's no rhythm yet to the second half. Kevin says there, Jesus in the right places. He'll score a hat-trick soon, I'm sure of it. Well, he's getting himself into in good positions, and he's getting chances, isn't he? But his finishing, it seems to be getting worse as the season goes on, which is a bit of a worry. But yeah, I mean, all he can do is keep getting into those positions. Yeah, you're right. And that's what we want to see him do. If he keeps doing it, you know, if he has enough chances, eventually he's going to start scoring goals, isn't he? There's no doubt. But it's almost like it's weighing on his shoulders. I've noticed in the last 2 or 3 games in particular, you know, the Southampton game, he missed a couple of good chances, didn't he? Against Nottingham Forest, he missed a couple of good chances. He's missed a good chance here tonight already. So it's a worry that he's missing so many. But yeah, I'm sure the goals will come again for him. You know, Reece Nelson now looking dangerous. He scored 2 at the weekend. Of course, Sambi Lokonga finds Eddie Nketiah in the box. Kieran Tierney's gone outside him. Eddie Nketiah still in the box, cutting inside and out. Goes back instead to Sambi Lokonga now. Mohamed El Neni. This is better from Arsenal. Gabriel plays up this near side too. Kieran Tierney goes around the outside. The defender has done well there. Kieran Tierney, can he get a cross in? He can get a cross into the near post, but it's defended well by Zurich. And they can now bring the ball clear. There's a little bit of space there where Kieran Tierney's left that area when he went forward, but he's come back well there. In fact, Zurich have put the ball out because there's an injury to Eddie Nketiah, actually. and Kieran Tierney's shirt's been ripped. He's going to need a new shirt. In that previous attack, his shirt's got ripped. Now he's going to have to come off. The defender grabbed hold of his shirt there, and I mean, it seemed to rip quite easily, actually. A little bit too easy, actually. If you're paying 100 quid for a shirt, you don't want it to rip that easily, do you? He just grabbed it and it just ripped straight away. Anyway, he's getting a new shirt, so he's not got to pay 100 quid for it, has he? They're just getting him one now. Obviously, his backup shirt with his number on it. Eddie's just got back to his feet again. He's not moving particularly freely at this moment in time. He's just coming over for a little bit of treatment. Kieran Tierney has got his new shirt now with his name and number on the back, of course. And let's hope that one is a little bit more robust than the previous one. Anyway, Eddie Nketiah is now over on his near side. He's hobbling a little bit, actually, Eddie. I don't know if he's going to be able to continue much longer, but he's going to try and run it off anyway. Arsenal do have a throw, but Zurich did kick the ball out. So I'm assuming we're just going to throw it back. Kieran Tierney throws it to Sambi Lokonga, and he will just pass it back. In fact, he's just given a throw-in away up a bit further back up this near side. I don't know why I didn't just go back to the goalkeeper. Anyway, we are back up and under running here. John says there, Jesus to score v Chelsea. A lot of Chelsea fans I know are concerned about Chelsea defence, especially Mendy in goal. Well, yeah, Mendy's not been playing, has he? Aspilicueta has been playing, hasn't he? No, as a Rebalaga, sorry. But he picked up an injury, didn't he, last week? So I don't know whether he's going to be fit to play or not. So maybe Mendy will play. But yeah, they're conceding goals, Chelsea. I mean, they conceded 4 against Brighton last week, didn't they? But I say away from home, we haven't been scoring too many lately, have we? Is it 3 in their last 4 away games in all competitions? So yeah, we're not scoring many away, are we? Anyway, we need to score at least another one here tonight, I think, just to set everybody down, because this second half's been quite scrappy. But we are attacking over on that far side with Fabio Vieira. Plays the ball in square to Gabriel Jesus. He's got 2 defenders around him. He loses out, and now Zurich have got an opportunity to get the ball forward, but that's a poor ball, easily cut out by Rob Holding. And now Fabio Vieira pings the ball to this near side to Eddie Nketiah, who's back on again, moving a little bit more freely now as he comes forward down on this near side, just on the edge of the penalty area. Kieran Tierney now plays it back to Sambi Lokonga into El Neni. Gets it back again to Kieran Tierney. Dinks the ball forward to the run of Sambi Lokonga in behind. And Mitelli's just said it wants to shut down. I don't know why. Anyway, it's not going to. But the ball then goes back into the arms of the Zurich goalkeeper, Brecker. Anyway, let's have a look. Vajendra says Rip shows he is. Oh, the Rip shows he was fouled. Yeah, I mean, he was fouled, but we had the ball and he carried on going, so that's why it wasn't a free kick. Kevin says, we, the normal people, buy the replica shirts. The match ones are made of lighter material, more expensive. Is that right? I mean, and our ones, the ones that we get are expensive enough, aren't they? 70, 80 quid, 90 quid, 100 quid, some of them. So I don't know. You'd think they'd be a little bit more robust than that, though, wouldn't you? But anyway, John says, I think it's Mendy in goal. So, yeah, I think it's going to be, yeah, because I think Azariba Laga's injured, isn't he? I mean, Mendy's a decent keeper, or he was. He's not really been playing this season as much, has he? So, not sure what's going on there with him. But anyway, I've got my own concerns about our goalkeeper at the moment, let alone anyone else's. But anyway, it's a throw to Zurich over on that far side. The game's very, very scrappy. And I just want to get us a second goal and then we can relax a little bit, because every time they come forward, although they haven't offered much of a threat, they don't look that great. Anything's possible, isn't it? Anybody can score a goal against anybody at any time of the game. So I would like us to get another goal just to settle everyone down. And you'd imagine that Zurich's heads will probably drop then. Although their fans behind that goal are really, really getting behind their team. We've seen that with all the visitors to the Emirates this season in the Europa League, haven't we? You had Bodo Glimt, of course, their fans were amazing, wasn't they, in the yellow? You had PSV, their fans were loud. Yes, there was a little bit of trouble that night, but the fans were loud. And now tonight we've got the Zurich fans, and they've been great as well. So generates a decent atmosphere. There's a lot of empty seats around the Emirates tonight. These Europa League group games haven't been the sellout that the Premier League games. Anyway, Zurich are coming forward now on this near side, across into the near post, but Ramsdale's going to deal with that. In fact, it went out of play for a goal kick. But a little attack there from Zurich. It was the substitute there who's come on. with an unpronounceable name that I'm not even going to try and pronounce. Vijendra says that they want to sell more shirts. Well, that wasn't a good advert for the shirts, was it? If you're going to pay 100 quid for a shirt, you want it to be a little bit more robust than that. Anyway, we've now got a chance. Eddie Nketiah on the edge of the box. Can he get a shot away inside the penalty area? Eddie Nketiah held it up, and then the ball ended up getting deflected away, and now they've completed their clearance. He didn't make the most of that, did he? Shane says, is Ben White a better right back than Katie is a left back? Been really third choice. I just can't understand it. It's a tough one, isn't it? That's a good point, actually. I mean, I like Katie. Unfortunately, he's dropped down a pecking order this season, hasn't he? The fact that Tommy Asu's been playing at left back instead of him in the Premier League is a worry for me, and it'll be a worry for him, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, Ben White isn't a natural right back, is he? He's been doing okay. I would rather see Tommy Asu at right back, actually. But anyway, Ben White's done nothing wrong, and I think that's why he's kept his place. He's played there tonight. John says there, Arsenal jersey sells for 60 to 80 euros in Ireland, depending on retailer. What does that work out to in English money? I'm not sure what the rate is actually at the minute. Not been checking lately. I've had no plans to go into Europe actually for the time being. I'm sure I will eventually. Kevin says, who's on the bench? I will tell you all the bench. It's a big bench, as it tends to be for these games. I'll just get that for you. So the entire bench then for, hang on, where are we going? The entire bench then for Arsenal tonight is Partey, Saka, Ødegaard, Martinelli, Saliba, Cedric, Tomiyasu, Manquillos, Hein, the goalkeeper, Zinchenko, and a couple of youngsters, Hilson and Smith. So a good bench, some strength on there to come on. So yeah, let's see what happens, whether or not we'll make any of those changes soon or not. We'll have to wait and see. John says there, you said about the jersey. Yeah, sorry about that one already. Yeah. Yes, I don't know what 60 to 80 euros works out to particularly, but yeah, it's still a lot of money, isn't it? And you want them to last a bit longer than that, don't you? And there's a foul there by Rob Holding. It's going to be a free kick to Zurich, just inside the Arsenal half over on that far side. They've taken it quickly, just a couple of little short passes. I mean, Zurich haven't really offered any attacking threat at all in this game, which PSV will be quite annoyed about, I'm sure. They are now 2-0 up PSV away in Bodo, which is a better result than we managed over there. We struggled for that 1-0 win, didn't we? Roma have now equalised. Jose Mourinho's Roma is now 1-1 against Ludogorets in Group C. So we'll see how that works out for them in the Europa Conference League. West Ham are 2-0 up away from home. So they're going well there, and Hearts lost 3-1 in Istanbul in that Conference League. Some strange old names in there that I've never heard of, actually. Anyway, Zurich are now coming forward, offering a little bit of a threat. We've played almost an hour here, and the last thing we want is a goal from Zurich, but they are coming forward. This is their first real attack of the second half, actually. They've kept the ball well. They've moved it over from right to left. The ball played into the box there, but it's not a great ball. It's going to run through to Aaron Ramsdale. Their fans are jumping about behind the goal, but they've not really got a lot to cheer, have they, the Zurich fans? But they're enjoying their night in London. It's a big game for the club, isn't it? And yeah, they'll be reasonably happy if it stays at 1-0, I'm sure. Magenta says there, Holding has been 1 foot slower. Yeah, he's not great, is he? Let's be honest. He's a steady old player, but yeah, I wouldn't want him to be playing too many times in the Premier League because that would worry me. But, you know, we don't have a lot of options here. We're making some subs. Here we go. We need a goal, so we're bringing on some players to try to do that. Bukayo Saka's coming on, which I'm not overly happy with, if I'm honest. And Thomas Partey as well. And, you know, obviously Saka got that injury on Saturday, had to go off very early in that game. Obviously, he's okay. But yeah, I don't know. Should we be resting him for Sunday, do we think? Anyway, he's going to come on, him and Partey at this moment in time. And yeah, I think Arteta's maybe responding to the fact that it is a very flat Arsenal performance, isn't it? We need a lift. But we'll see what happens there. There's another yellow card actually for Zurich there. Conde has just got a yellow card for a foul on Sambi Lokonga. He just stood on his foot actually. He just got there a bit late. And as John says there, subs coming on for Arsenal. Yeah, I say it's these two, Saka and Thomas Partey, which I don't know. I really didn't want Saka to play tonight. But anyway, I suppose if he comes on and gets a second goal, we'll be happy. It's El Neni that's going off. Good to see him back fit, actually. I know he's not the greatest player in the world. We know that. He always gives his best for Arsenal. And you can't ask for any more than that, can you? He wears the shirt with pride. And he's going off his first game back from that injury. And Thomas Partey is coming on. And let's hope he doesn't get injured either, because he's important for Sunday. But that's fair enough. Sub, El Neni's just back from injury. He was never going to be able to play a full 90 minutes. And it's Gabriel Jesus going off. So he's not going to get himself a goal, but he is going to get himself a little bit of a rest. He did miss that big chance a few moments ago. He's going off and Saka's coming on. So you'd imagine that Eddie Nketiah, who's been playing on the left, is probably going to go through the centre. Saka will probably go on the right and Reece Nelson will probably come over to the left. That's what you'd imagine will happen now with those two substitutions. We've played 63 minutes. We have got a free kick though, and it's Nelson and Fabio Vieira have a very similar position to earlier when we had it at the very start of this second half, and it's exactly the same position actually. Again, it's going to be Fabio Vieira digs in towards the edge of the box. The header comes in, but it's going to go into the arms of the goalkeeper Brecker, and he kicks it long into the Arsenal half. But Fabio Vieira was under that, and now this is Reece Nelson on a good little run there. Maybe held onto the ball a little bit too long, but Thomas Partey gets his first touch, finds Ben White. Saka is over on that right-hand side. He's going to get the ball now. This is his first touch. Bukayo Saka, the substitute, just come on running straight away at that defence. Cross it into the near post. Oh, it almost came to Reece Nelson, but he wasn't expecting it. He bounced off his chest and got into the arms of the goalkeeper. Shane says there, Manquillos should be given a chance to prove what he can do. I think he's a good player. No, you're right. I personally, in this game, I wouldn't have brought Saka on. Bearing in mind what's happening on Sunday. I would have maybe brought Manquillos on. But I do think the issue is we're only 1-0 up. And although Zurich haven't threatened a goal, I just think that what Arteta wants to do is he just wants to bring on a little bit more quality just so that we've got the opportunity to get that second goal, get the victory, get the job done, rather than maybe throwing on Manquillos into the game when we've, at this point, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. But suddenly we've given the ball away. There's a chance here for Zurich. I mean, it would be a massive shock, wouldn't it, if they were to get a goal? But we haven't really played particularly well in the second half. Now Eddie, though, he's on this near side, drifting inside, plays the ball square to Thomas Partey. This is better from Arsenal. Pings it out to that far side to Bukayo Saka again. Is Saka going to get himself a goal or make this second goal into Fabio Vieira? Shot on the turn, fires it over the crossbar there. Vieira. He's not scared of a shot, is he? Let's be honest. They're not always end up in the goal very often, but he certainly likes to get forward, likes to get in the box, likes to get shots away, and he did there. That was on his weaker right foot, that one. John says there, El Neni is a Isopon player. He fills in and will always give it. But no, exactly, yeah, he does a job, doesn't he, when he's needed. Roma 2-1 up, are they, John? Okay, so Roma may well be going through. But as indeed are we, and at this point in time, we are going to win the group as well, which would be all we could have done. That was that whole aim, wasn't it, at the start, is to win the group and get that slightly easier second half campaign. What he's going to get onto that is he's not the goalkeeper's out of his area there, clears the ball away over on that far side. It's going to be a throw to Arsenal. But no, you're right about El Neni. He just comes in, does his job, and goes back home again, doesn't he? It's sort of what he does. He's never a fancy flash player. He just does what he's got to do. And I suppose you need a player like that in your squad. My worry would be, as we saw last season, if he's got to play a lot of games, it's probably not going to be great for us, is it? In that important midfield area of the pitch, and that's where I do think we do need to strengthen a bit more in the January window. But let's see what happens. That's all we can do. Anyway, there's a throw to Zurich over on that far side. This has been a really, really scrappy game. The second half's been really scrappy. A lot of free kicks, no real flow or rhythm to the game. And it's been a difficult watch, actually. Not many chances at either end. We've only really had that one from Jesus, which the goalkeeper did well to save. Anyway, Arteta's now having a little word with Albert on the side to maybe decide what else they can change to try to get a little bit more from us and get this game sealed. Because the longer it goes on at 1-0, the more nervy it's going to become, isn't it? John says there, some amount of former European giants join the Europa League, and great that we get a bye to avoid the next 2 legs. Exactly, yeah. I mean, we haven't yet. There's a shot from Zurich. Oh, good save. Oh, Zurich have scored. Oh, they're not. It's offside. Oh, wow. It's Guerrero there. Dear me. Just saying about winning the group and getting a bye. Well, that goal would have denied us that opportunity to win the group. The first shot, this is actually their first real attack. The first one's not offside. The ball played over to that far side. A cross comes in. In fact, it came to the edge of the box. A good shot. Oh, they were offside. It was a good save from Ramsdale. In fact, I'm not sure if the goal scorer was offside. There was 2 players offside in the middle. Guerrero put it in. Actually, he was offside. Wow. That was fortunate there. Very, very fortunate. But it just goes to show, doesn't it? I was saying before, one moment, that was a good bit of play from Zurich, actually. It wasn't so much a mistake from us. It was good play. There was a good attack from them. A good shot initially, a good save from Ramsdale, and then the follow-up was put in. But it just goes to show, doesn't it? As John says there, we need a second goal. We definitely do. Kevin says, oh, my God, yeah, exactly. That was fortunate. We got away with one there. Wow. That was, and maybe that might wake us up a bit now, perhaps. We've just maybe gone down a little bit, haven't we? John says there, lucky let off on that Zurich goal. It was a bit lucky, yeah. He was offside, the goal scorer, but yeah, we did get a little bit fortunate there. Yeah, wow, that was a big moment, maybe. Shane says, are we going to play friendly when World Cup is on? I'm not sure. I don't know. Obviously, a lot of our players are going to be at the World Cup, aren't they? So I'm not sure. I think it's going to depend on who's around and whether or not it's worth it. I know some Premier League teams will be doing that, won't they? But I think it does depend on who's around to play, really, I suppose. Anyway, we've just got a little bit stretched in the last couple of minutes here. Zurich just had almost another counter-attack there. We gave the ball away. Ben White have a run, and then Zurich picked the ball up. They're coming forward again over on that far side, but we have won the ball back now. Thomas Partey does well in midfield. Plays the ball square to Sambi Lokonga. He's got Reece Nelson on his left-hand side. Reece Nelson runs at the defender. Was he fouled? The referee says no. And Zurich can clear the ball away again. They've certainly grown into this game in the second half now, haven't they, Zurich? They'll be boosted by that goal that they just had disallowed. And suddenly this isn't done and dusted as it should have been. But anyway, Rajendra says he was a scorer. Yeah, he was, yeah. Tomiyasu's coming on just as we need a goal. Shane says holding is not good enough to play in Scotland, let alone in Arsenal. Well, I mean, he's another one, isn't he? A bit like El Neni. He comes in and does a steady job, but you don't want to have to rely on him to play regular in the Premier League, yeah, either of those two. And that kind of worries me a bit. They're the players in our squad that's got to come in, and you can't guarantee you're not going to get key injuries. We've had 1 or 2 injuries already, haven't we? So, yeah, they're not quite good enough. That's why we need to strengthen. Anyway, Saka now over on that far side. Can Arsenal get this second goal? Because he's starting to get a little bit more nervy. We've got 20 minutes to play still. And Zurich have shown that they are still in this game. But Ben White, those done well over on that far side, plays it back into the box. Saka inside the area. Oh, he maybe just overran it a little bit there, Saka. I think he was caught in 2 minds whether to put it across the goal or try a shot. In the end, he didn't do either. And it's gone behind for a goal kick. Ben White did well there, though, over on that far side. The defender was caught out, actually, thought the ball was going to run behind it, didn't. John says there, they've showed Tomiyasu warming up since Elneny went off. Zurich more into the game. Yeah, no, they have been into the game, yeah. I say PSV are 2-0 up against Bodo Glimt as well. Bakayoko with that second goal for them. So a goal from Zurich now we would end up finishing second. So, yeah, not a great last few minutes. So Zurich trying to come forward again, actually. Strange, really, because like you said, Elneny's gone off. Partey's come on, who's a much better player. And yet since then, Zurich have come into the game and they've had a goal disallowed, which would certainly at that moment in time, all the linesmen just fell over on that far side. and he's up and back on his feet again to give that throw. Yeah, Tomiyasu is coming on, and Odegaard's coming on as well. So I've got a feeling here that Kieran Tierney might be coming off, actually. Odegaard, you'd imagine, is going to come on for Vieira. Arteta's not messing about, is he? He's bringing the big guns on, so they're not getting much of a rest, are they, for the weekend? Because this game's not done and dusted. So you see, this to me, again, illustrates the fact that the squad players aren't quite good enough, are they? And that's why we're having to... We've done it in every single Europa League game. We've had to bring the big names on to get the result, because the squad players aren't good enough to win games in the Europa League. So what chance have they got in the Premier League? Anyway, Vieira's gone off. He's done okay tonight, hasn't he? Again, he's missed a couple of chances, but he's played pretty well. And Odegaard is coming on. I'm not sure who Tomiyasu's coming on for. I've got a feeling it may well be Kieran Tierney, but I wouldn't be surprised maybe Ben White, perhaps. But anyway, it looks quite foggy actually now at the Emirates. It's become quite foggy. It's not foggy here. I'm just looking out the window. It's just dark. Let's see who's going off. Is it Ben White? It is Ben White, actually. Ben White's going off, and Tomiyasu is going to come on at right back. So it's not far off a full strength Arsenal team now, is it? Really, not far off. As Kevin says, they're putting the full team now, yeah, because those squad players aren't doing good enough. They're not good enough, are they? They're not playing well enough. They're not doing the job. Vijayendra says there he wants to win at the Europa. Well, of course we want to win it, yeah. 100% we want to win it. But my fear is this squad. If our squad struggles against teams like Zurich, struggles against Bodo Glimt, what chance have we got when it gets into the knockout stage and we're playing, some of the stronger teams in Europe? That's my worry. And yes, you could say that we'll be playing full 11 then. And yes, we probably will be, but we've also got the big Premier League games as well. So this is why we need better squad depth. This game kind of shows that, really. Zurich coming forward again down this near side. Ball in towards the edge of 6-yard box. Ramsdale's done well at full stretch to cut that cross out. But again, they're looking more dangerous, Zurich, aren't they? That's another opportunity for them. We are now into the last 17 minutes of this game. Reece Nelson now, though, for Arsenal. Eddie and Nketiah surely offside. But the flag stayed down, actually. Nketiah pulls it back to the edge of the box. Oh, Nelson and Odegaard got in each other's way, but Nelson's still in possession. In fact, the flag has gone up. Yeah, Eddie and Nketiah look miles offside. I mean, I don't know why the flag took so long to come out. So Vijayendra says there, why have a worry? It's Arteta's worry. Well, it's our worry as well, isn't it? If it's Arteta's worry, it's our worry. Because if the squad's not strong enough, then we're going to have to worry about it, aren't we? Because we want the team to be successful. And with a weak squad, can we become successful? That's my concern. That's my worry. And certainly, as things stand at the moment, it's not looking as though that's going to be the case. But anyway, let's wait and see. I'm not getting worried about that yet. There's a long way to go. Let's just get this game won, because I'm starting to get a little bit concerned now as to what's going to happen in these last 15 minutes or so. Because Zurich have got into it. They've had one or two opportunities. They've had a goal disallowed. And I say, if this game was to finish in a draw with PSV winning, we would not win the group. And, after throwing away that top four last year, the end of last season, from a very strong position, if we were not to win this group from what was a strong position, winning all four of them first games, then you'd have to start questioning the mentality issue that this club have got. Anyway, Zurich are preparing two substitutions of their own now over on this near side. The ball's gone back to Aaron Ramsdale in the fog at the Emirates. It is very foggy, actually. I don't know whether they're going to be able to finish the game. It has got really foggy. But anyway, there's only 15 minutes to go. So the goalkeeper's out there. Oh, he took a chance. The goalkeeper there. I think he thought the ball was maybe going to reach the area. It didn't. He had to come out and kick it away as Eddie came in. But anyway, Vijayendra says, no, we just support as in the old days. Well, yeah, no, but part of that is worrying about how the team are doing, worrying about the players, and that's all part of supporting the club, isn't it? That's what it's about, isn't it? You do worry. It's just the way it is. Kevin says, love Arsenal supporters. We are top and still looking at faults. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not so much faults, is it? It's just, we all want us to be successful, don't we? And to be successful now in football these days, the way the Premier League is, you do need to have squad depth if you want to compete in Europe and you want to compete in the Premier League. And, our first 11, or maybe our first 13, 14 players are very, very good. And they're good enough to win most games. But unfortunately, you over a course of a season, you need 20 players, don't you? 22 players to play a big part. And that's where at this moment in time, I don't think we've quite got that, have we? And I say we are 2 or 3 injuries away from having problems. But the good thing is, there's only 3 games left after this one until the World Cup break, and then the transfer window's open. They're making 3 subs now. Actually, Zurich, are they making these subs because they feel they can still get something from this game? Tosin's gone off over on that far side. Who else has gone off? I missed that other one. Not sure. Oh, Santini, I think it was. And Vuernik's come on. He's a striker. So they are certainly bringing on some attacking players, aren't they? And they're coming forward again over on that far side. That was where they created that opportunity for the goal that was disallowed, actually. Shane says, I think Emery put his eggs in Europa League basket at the expense of the league when I think we could have got top 4 that year. Yeah, but you see, the problem is, and it's not just an Arsenal problem, it's when, when you're getting towards the end of the season and you've got an opportunity to get in the top 4, and you've got the opportunity to get into the Europa League final and win the Europa League final, the prize is the same, isn't it? Getting in the top 4 or winning the Europa League, the prize is the same, Champions League football. And I think it's, bearing in mind, Emery had such a great record in the Europa League of winning it, and he's won it since he left us as well again. He maybe felt that he could win that competition. And it's tempting to, and I think we're going to have the same issue. If we're sort of 3rd or 4th, and we get through to the quarterfinal, semi-final of the Europa League when it gets to March and April time, that's what Arteta's going to have to do. He's going to have to manage that squad, isn't he? You can't throw a weak team into a European semi-final, because the European semi-finals are a chance to get to a final and try and win a European trophy. You've got to do it. And if it's at the expense of a league game, then that's why you need a stronger squad, so that you can do it. You can rotate your squad, and you've still got good enough players to come in the league and do the job. We didn't really have under Emery, did we? He made those changes to those games, and we lost 3 in a row, didn't we, at one point? And yeah, we should have got top 4 that season. But I think he wanted the Europa League, wanted to win the Europa League, and that was where that was what he went for, and unfortunately it didn't quite come off, did it? We lost that final, as we know. John says, I hate to sound like a stuck record, but definitely Arsenal forward line not penetrating enough. Absolutely, yeah. And that's why someone like Zaha would make a difference. Yeah, I think we need reinforcements in the midfield and in the attack, definitely. Yes, I would like to see another defender come in, but I don't think that's a priority. I think we've got enough in defence to be fine. I just feel midfield and certainly up front is where we need to strengthen, definitely. Kevin says Zaha and Saka wouldn't mix, or could they? Well, it's all about strength and depth, isn't it? A shot comes in from, it's the top of the bar from Zurich. The substitute who's just come on. Vignac there. Wow, this is just getting nervy now. That's 2 big chances they've had there. That was a good run there from the substitute. A shot from the edge of the box. Just hit the corner of the bar and the post. Ramsdale wouldn't have got there. That would have been the goal there. That was so close again. And I wouldn't say we're hanging on, but we sort of are hanging on. Vijayendra says we need both. Shevchenko, is it Zinchenko getting ready now? Yeah, Zinchenko's coming on. I've seen enough of this absolute disaster of a second half performance from Arsenal, really. John says there, Zaha on the left and a Mitrovic type centre forward to be more physical. Yeah, you see, but unfortunately, the problem is Arteta won't play that way. That's not his style. He wants players that's going to play this style of football, and that's what it'll be. So we're not going to sign a big centre forward. Zaha, I think that ship sailed now. I honestly do. We had the opportunity to buy him, didn't we? 3 years ago under that season when we bought Pepe, and we didn't get him in. I do think that ship sailed. They're making another sub now, actually, Zurich. They're certainly going for it, and it's actually made a difference because they have been the better team in the last 15 minutes, and they came very close to that equaliser then. We're into the last 9 minutes of normal time. It's getting very nervy. Arsenal are making some mistakes. We're not keeping the ball particularly well, and we're not really doing very much at all, it has to be said. It's very, very poor performances from Arsenal. Anyway, it's a goal kick now. Aaron Ramsdale's going to take that. It's gone long into the Zurich half. Flicked on there by Eddie Nketiah, but it's a Zurich player that's going to pick that ball up. And now it's played forward up this near side. It wasn't a great pass, actually. and it's gone out for a throw. Are Zurich going to make their change now? They are. Number 7 is coming on, Krasnicki, which is quite a good name actually, isn't it? Krasnicki's coming on, and it is Conde coming off. So it's Conde, the Guinean, and it is Krasnicki, the Swiss players coming on for them. Number 7 he's wearing, and we've got 8 minutes to play here at the Emirates. It is still Arsenal 1, Zurich 0. Of course, a win would seal the group. First place in the group, which will give us that extra bye. Will give us that bye in the next round, which will be very, very useful indeed. But we are hanging on slightly in this game. Zurich had a goal disallowed very, very recently, and they just had an effort there as well. Little bit of a little bit of afters there between the defender, Camberi, and Eddie Nketiah. There is going to be a goal kick though to Zurich, who have grown into this second half, and they've been the better team actually since, well, certainly for the last 20 minutes or so. And they could quite easily have got an equaliser, which would end up dropping us down to second place in this group, which not a total disaster, but it would be pretty bad really when you look at the position that we're in, just 2 games to go in this group. Anyway, we're coming forward now. Reece Nelson's got a little bit of space on his near side. As he's going to get there first, he is. Oh, surely that's a foul there. And in fact, it's given. Is he given a corner? The defender's complaining that he got the ball there. Again, it's Camberi, is it, or is it Katic? Anyway, either way, it's the decision's gone Arsenal's way. I'm not sure if it's a corner or a goal kick or a free kick. I mean, it was a 50-50 challenge there. Nelson did get the ball. Let's have a look at the slower replay here. I think he may have got the ball, the defender, you know, and it come off Reece Nelson. It should be a goal kick, maybe. Anyway, it's a corner. He's given a corner. Fair enough. It's going to be Nelson with this corner from the near side, whipped into the penalty spot, but it wasn't a great corner, actually. And Zurich can clear it away, but it hits Bukayo Saka and comes into the arms of the goalkeeper, Brecker. We are now into the final 6 minutes, actually, left here at the Emirates. And we are getting nervous, I have to be honest. We are getting a little bit nervous. They're coming forward again over on that far side. Zurich, the ball's inside the penalty area. A nice little touch back there, but Thomas Partey got in, but we still haven't cleared it away. It's on this near side now for Zurich in the yellow shirts. Ball played into the penalty area. It's kicked up and high by Thomas Partey onto the roof of the Arsenal net. It's going to be a corner to Zurich. Well, this is not looking great, is it? We struggle to beat Zurich away, and we're struggling to beat them at home as well. Anyway, it's a corner now on this near side to Zurich. If they were to score now, it would be very, very difficult for us to come back again, wouldn't it, you feel? But anyway, it is a corner. We're going to have to defend this corner well. They've got some height in there of Zurich. What's the delivery like from this near side towards the edge of the 6-yard box? It goes all the way to the far post. It's headed on, and it's headed away and finally cleared by Reece Nelson. But again, it's picked up by Zurich. They are certainly having a go at this. You have to say the Swiss team are coming forward again over on that far side. A little bit of space. Can they get a cross in? They can towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Oh, Kieran Tierney's ever defensive header. And we are rocking here at the Emirates. Absolutely rocking. And Zurich have had a few opportunities. Kevin says there, I'm getting that horrible feeling. Yeah, I am as well. You're starting to feel that we're looking a little bit nervy on the pitch. We're making a lot of mistakes. We're not clearing the ball properly. And they have had some decent opportunities here in these final 20 minutes or so. Very, very worrying. We've got a free kick now, though, but they've got in behind us a few times. They've put some balls into the box and they've had some chances. And you have to say, fair play to Zurich, because they've got nothing to play for in this game. They can't qualify. They're bottom of the group, but they've given it a good go. And they are causing us 1 or 2 problems. And now we've got a problem because Tomiyasu's gone down injured. When we didn't even need to bring him on, did we? We didn't need to bring him on. Ben White was doing okay. Now Tomiyasu's come on and he's got an injury. And it's looking like a hamstring injury as well. He's getting some stretching, but this is a worry. Unnecessary. And Cedric's actually warming up to come on. So it looks as though Tomiyasu's night didn't last very long, did it? Vijendra says there, why are they allowing Zurich to pass forward? Well, the pressure was working. Yeah, well, it was, but we've lost our way. Lost our way badly. Tomiyasu is back on his feet again. He may be able to carry on, actually. I'm not quite sure. No, I don't think he is. He's looking quite frustrated. He's chatting to the physio there as he walks off behind the goal. And he's shaking his head. He's being taken off, Tomiyasu. He was only on for about 10 minutes. And Cedric has now come on. And the change, an unnecessary change to bring him on, hasn't paid off at all. And it's now looking as though Tomiyasu will not be fit to play against Chelsea on Sunday. Anyway, we've got a free kick now, which Aaron Ramsdale's going to take. We're into the last 2.5 minutes of normal time. There'll be a little chunk of stoppage time. There's been a lot of stoppages for substitutions as well. There's been a lot of stoppy-starty free kicks. I think they're going to make another sub as well now, I know, Zurich. They've got a throw on this near side. That free kick from Ramsdale went straight out of play. Not great from him, was it, really? Anyway, Zurich are coming forward again on this near side. They've got another throw now in the Arsenal half. And they're about to bring on their number 9, Santini, who's a centre forward. And they're taking off a defender in Aliti. So they are certainly going for it, Zurich, aren't they, in these final few minutes here? They've got nothing to lose now, let's be honest. They can't qualify anyway. As far as they're concerned, they might as well lose this game 2-0. But they're going to try and get an equaliser, which they have done for much of this last 20 minutes. And they've been very, very close and had a goal disallowed. Rajendra says there, the pressure on the midfield and defenders and Zurich meant that they could not attack. Yeah, but now we've got the pieces. And Zurich have been the better side. And they're trying to come forward again as we move in to the last 90 seconds of normal time. A ball played up into the middle, actually. They've got a man over here, Zurich. They've found him as well. They're using this well, Zurich. Can they get a ball into the box? They can. Goes all the way across to the far post. Zurich were claiming a penalty, but they're going to keep the ball in, are they, over on that far side? They can, but Cedric's across to clear it away. Arsenal are looking nervy here. Really, really nervy. In fact, it's going to be a throw to to Zurich in front of their fans over on that far side. They're now going to try and get the ball into the box, are they? Arsenal are rocking here, and we've got pretty much, this is almost their strongest team, isn't it? Not far off. They're coming forward again over on that far side. Can he get a cross in? Pulls it back to the near post. The ball stayed in. Oh, almost a chance. It's still not cleared. Dear me, Arsenal are struggling here to get the ball away. Cross comes in again. It's blocked by Kieran Tierney. We're into the last 25 seconds of normal time. This is not what we expected in this game. John says there, not for the first time. Dubious substitutions are made and Zurich are controlling this game. Yeah, they are. Unnecessary substitutions for me. Anyway, Eddie's battling away for the ball now, trying to make something happen for Arsenal, but he's lost out there. The ball goes back to the Zurich goalkeeper. We're now into the last 10 seconds of normal time. There's probably going to be at least 3 or 4 minutes, you would imagine, of stoppage time. So this game certainly isn't won yet. And I say Zurich will still fancy their chances of getting something from this game because they've certainly had 1 or 2 options coming forward again on the edge of the box there. Good defending actually that time from Kieran Tierney. He's gone down injured as well. It's going to be 5 minutes of stoppage time. 5 minutes. And Kieran Tierney's gone down with an injury. This is great, isn't it? Tomiyasu's had to go off injured, having just come on. Kieran Tierney's now injured as well. Just as well as Zinchenko's fit. I mean, it was a good defensive challenge from Kieran Tierney. And he got his ankle stood on. I don't think that looks too serious, actually. I think he'll be all right. But that'd be a worry, wouldn't it? Nelson's now getting some instructions from Arteta. John says there, Tierney down injured 5 minutes new time. Yeah, he's injured, but let's hope he's going to be okay. As things stand, with 5 minutes stoppage time to play, we will be winning a group. But PSV have done their job. They finished on 13 points. We've currently got 15. But, of course, if Zurich were to score, we would drop down to 13 points and PSV have got a much better goal difference and they won the head-to-heads anyway, didn't they? It is actually Kieran Tierney's goal that's going to win us this group. It seemed to be a long time ago now, wasn't it, that goal? And lots has happened since then, but not much good from Arsenal, has to be said. It's been a really poor performance, especially the second half's been quite awful, actually. Not much different to some of the second halves that we've had recently anyway. We're going to get some more stoppage time now, though. That's the uptake of this thing. And Kieran Tierney is moving a little bit uncertainly over to this near side. And he is going to hopefully be able to continue. And hopefully he's going to be fit for Sunday as well. But anyway, we'll see. The ball is now back in play. Gabriel kicks it long. John says there's some amount of Zurich support for this game. Yeah, they've made a lot of noise. All the European teams that we've played have also coming forward over on that far side, though. Can we get the second goal, which would put this finally to bed in the 92nd minute? Cedric with the cross from that far side. Eddie Nketiah with the header. No, he couldn't quite get anything on it there. If he'd managed to get even the slightest touch on there, it could have been an opportunity there. Good cross from Cedric from that far side. A really good cross, actually. Eddie got in between the two defenders. He maybe jumped a little bit too early. And he got just a tiny touch on it, not enough. And it went behind for a goal kick, with Zurich have taken again long into the Arsenal half. They've picked up the second ball again, trying to come forward down this near side. Zurich in the yellow. That's a ball over the top, actually. He's flicked on. Gabriel at full stretch there, puts it out for a throw. We are into the final 2.5 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this game. And Arsenal are holding on against Zurich, which we shouldn't be. We just haven't played very well. A cross comes, it's deflected. It's going to be a corner, is it? Or is it kept in? I think it might have been kept in there by Gabriel. It's going to be a throw instead. We're into the last 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this game. Arsenal hanging on, which we certainly wasn't expecting. It's going to be a throw, though, on this near side. Looks like it might be a long throw from Zurich, trying to lob the ball into that near post area. They have done. It's flicked on, not really towards the goal, but Arsenal haven't cleared it away, but they do now. We're looking very, very nervy at the back every time the ball goes into the box. You can see there's another throw. We've got a minute and a half of the 5. There might be a fraction more stoppage time because Kieran Tierney went down, didn't he, in that just as we moved into stoppage time. It's a throw on this near side in the attacking third. John says there, squeaky bum time. It is. And it shouldn't be, but it is. This is, Thomas Partey's just lost the ball. He's been quite sloppy since he's come on, and suddenly Zurich have got a chance on this near side of ball across the box. Oh, Ramsdale's there. Just held on there. It was the striker there, Vunicic, coming in there at full stretch. And Ramsdale held that there, low cross in towards the near post. And if he'd got there, actually, that could have been the moment. Wow. Arsenal hanging on and hanging on. Zurich coach there looking a little bit frustrated. That's how it's gone there. John says there, didn't PSV score 6 against you? I think they scored 5. I think they scored 5 in both games, 5 home and 5 away. And we've really struggled here. This has been a terrible, terrible Arsenal performance, it has to be said. Shane says, I think we missed Xhaka. Yeah, I agree. I think we probably have done. And there's another bit of squaring up there between Reece Nelson and Kambari, who's been involved in a couple of incidents in the second half, the Swiss defender. But it is a free kick now. This is probably going to be the last opportunity for Zurich. The goalkeeper, Brecker's going to take this. It's deep inside the Zurich half, just outside the penalty area on this near side. But he goes long into the Arsenal half. Gabriel with that header. It's going to be a throw to Arsenal. In fact, there's a yellow card coming out by the referee. I'm not quite sure who that's for Gabriel. It's going to be a free kick. We have played the 5 minutes of stoppage time. Gabriel there with I don't know quite what a free kick's for, to be honest. We've got a yellow card here. It's a free kick to Zurich. This will probably be the last action of this game. We just need to defend this now, and we've won the group. It's on this. It's about 25 yards in from the near side, in line with the edge of the penalty area, but it's halfway in the Arsenal half. This is going to be the last chance for Zurich, you would imagine. We've got one more piece of defending to do. But a good delivery here could put us under a bit of pressure. The ball goes in towards the edge of 6 shot. It's a good ball. Header comes in. Oh, it's over the top. That was a big chance. It was a free header from Katic there, the Croatian. Why are we hanging on here? This is actually, that was offside anyway. I don't think the linesman was going to give offside, actually. But a free header from about 12 yards. He's put it over the bar. And Arsenal have got lucky again. We've played 6 minutes now of stoppage time. It's not been much longer, surely. But but we're still playing on, and Zurich have had another chance. This has been a nervy game. This last 20 minutes has been just a terrible. The second half's been terrible, really, from Arsenal, but these last 20 minutes in particular. But we're almost there. Almost there. In fact, there goes the full-time whistle. We've hung on. We've got the win that we needed. Very, very tense night, though. We almost threw it away. Zurich did have a goal disallowed for offside. They had 2 or 3 other big chances as well in the closing stages. Arsenal just didn't get going at all. Really, really poor from Arsenal in that second half. And that was even despite bringing on some of our first-team players, if you like. Partey come on, Ødegaard come on, Saka come on, Tomiyasu come on, and had to go off injured. Ultimately, we've got the job done, and we have to be happy with that. We've won the group. We avoid that extra game in the next round after the new year, but that was a quite terrible performance, and it certainly isn't the type of performance to take into the game on Sunday. Plus the Tomiyasu injury issue as well. He had to go off with what looked like a hamstring injury about 10 minutes after coming on. So yeah. Kevin says, we won the group. Let's celebrate that, boys. Well, yes, it feels a little bit flat, though, doesn't it? Because Zurich are the worst team in the group, and we were fortunate. At the end, I thought we were fortunate to hang on there. John says, I'm amazed at the amount of empty seats at the games tonight. Yeah, there's been a lot of empty seats. I think that these Europa League games, the group games, haven't really captured the imagination. There's been empty seats at most of them, really. Thursday nights don't help today, I suppose. Anyway, Ødegaard is chatting to the Norwegian player in the Zurich side. But yeah, Zurich gave that a good go. They had nothing to play for, but they gave it a good go. But ultimately, as Kevin rightly says, we've got the job done. We've won the group. We go through, and we missed that game, the extra knockout game. The Zurich players now going over to their fans over in that far corner. They gave their all there, Zurich, you have to say, and credit to them for that, fair play. But Arsenal have got the job done tonight. Yes, it was a scrappy performance, but yeah, fair play to Zurich. They gave it a go, and they almost denied us the chance to win the group, didn't they? So fair play to them. But Arsenal have got the job done. The fans are having a little jump about as well. The Zurich fans over in that far corner, they've enjoyed their night in London, and yeah, we've not really enjoyed it, but we've got the job done and we've won. And the first half goal from Kieran Tierney, in the end, his first goal of the season, that was enough to send us through as group winners. But yeah, very, very nervy. Rajendra says that I felt that the ref allowed Zurich to foul our players and not the reverse. Well, I don't know. It was probably even, wasn't it? They were a physical team. They knew they had to be. You can't allow Arsenal to play, and they didn't. Rajendra says it's too late, and the strikes by because yeah, I don't know if there's strikes tonight, is it? I know obviously it's a Thursday night and stuff like that. The Zurich players are now giving their shirts to the crowd. A nice touch there, and the manager applauding the fans as well. They gave great support to their team, but yeah, not a great performance from Arsenal. Let's not try and cover it up any other way. It was poor, but the job's done. We've won the group. 5 wins out of 6. I mean, not much more we could do, really, is there, I suppose. But yeah, not a great performance tonight. But we have won the group by 2 points from PSV, who ended up winning that game 2-1 away in Bodo Glimt. The game that cost them will be that draw with Bodo Glimt at home. The PSV in their first game, they drew 1-1 with them. They'd expected to have won that game. And in the end, that's what's cost them. Or they would have won the group on goal difference. So, yeah. Anyway, Kevin says we won't start with that team on Sunday, so let's not dwell on it too much. No, but we're going to finish with a very similar team to what we're going to start with a similar team to what finished this game, aren't we? And funnily enough, we played better in that game tonight. After we'd made before we made the substitutions, before we brought on players like Ødegaard and Partey and Saka, we were better before. So that's not good, is it? Were them players as motivated for this game? Did they have their mind half on Sunday? Did we feel the job was done? I don't know. But yeah, that was poor. But yeah, we got the job done. We're not gonna dwell on it too long. But yeah, it wasn't great. Vijayendra says Jesus was a different. Well, he played well. Jesus, yeah, should have scored that second goal though, shouldn't he? That would have made us feel a little bit happier with life, wouldn't it? That would have made us not worry as much at the end there. But yeah, we got it done. We did get it done, and yeah, that's the best we can say about tonight, really, wasn't it? Job done. And we move on to what is now a massive game on Sunday, isn't it? Massive game. It is going to be very, very tense as well. I'm sure that will be. But in the end tonight, it has finished here. Arsenal 1, Zurich 0. That first half goal from Kieran Tierney, a very good goal it was. A goal worthy of winning any game, actually, and a goal worthy of winning us the group. But other than that, it wasn't too much to cheer from the Arsenal performance. And Zurich were unlucky there in the second half. You have to say they had a goal disallowed and had one or two other moments. A little bit more quality from them, and we may well have struggled. But anyway, we did get the job done. We are through as group winners, 5 wins out of 6, and that is the Europa League put away in a little box until the new year now. And I say we do get that bye as well in the next round, which could prove to be really, really important. 2 less games, less travelling, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, happy about that. That's what we needed to do. That's the job done. Vijayendra says there, the problems came after we were taken off. Yeah, well, they did. And when we made the other changes as well. Kevin says, harder to get into a game with 20 minutes left. Yeah, it is. And maybe that's where they struggled. Maybe it is where they struggled. John says there, the substitutions seem to have upset the Arsenal performance. Still, we won't complain at winning group and hope for better Sunday. Well, we're going to have to play better Sunday, let's be honest. Vijayendra says there, we have had goals disallowed as well, but not in this game. Yeah, well, everybody gets goals disallowed, don't they? But yeah, tonight we had a little bit of luck when we needed it, and we did need it at times, but we got the job done. And it isn't just about tonight, anyway, is it? You know, the group's over 6 games, and we've won 5 of them, and we've won the group. So, you know, we can't really ask for much more than that, can we? Just the performance wasn't great, let's be honest. But no one will care if we win on Sunday against Chelsea. This game won't matter, will it? We did the job we had to do. And ultimately, that's what matters, really, isn't it? So, yeah, it finished 1-0 then tonight. As Vijayendra says there, so 1-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah, 1-0 to the Arsenal, of course, which is a score we quite like, don't we? It was a little bit nervy at the end, though. We didn't enjoy that last 15, 20 minutes, did we, much? Because it was, as I think it was John said before, squeaky bum time. It was. But we got it done. And, yes, you know, we'll take a few scrappy 1-0s. We've had a few scrappy 1-0s lately, actually, haven't we? So it's just another in the list, on the long list of recent scrappy 1-0s, which takes us back a few years, doesn't it? There was a time when we made a whole history out of scrappy 1-0 wins, didn't we? Going back a few years. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, the performance tonight wasn't great. And yeah, but anyway, it's done. It's over and done. We've won the group. And we move on and look ahead now to Sunday. Kevin says there, night Richard, cheers. Another great show. Cheers, mate. Yeah, thank you again for your support, Kevin. Always appreciate your comments as well. Hopefully see you Sunday if you're around. Rajendra says, you need another tune if you want Arsenal to score. So we need a new tune, 3-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah, but we can't get 3-0 to the Arsenal because nobody sings that, do they? Everyone only sings 1-0 to the Arsenal. Shane says, I just wanted more than us towards the end. Yeah, it's a mentality thing. That's why KT stood out tonight. Yeah, I mean, it is slightly, yeah, I think the substitutions disrupted our rhythm. And it is hard, as we said, to players to get into the game playing, you know, that few minutes coming on. It's difficult, isn't it? John says there, pity Spurs didn't drop down to Europa League. Can't see them going forward in the Champions League knockout phase. Who knows? They seem to be able to get results when they need them, don't they? Which is, from their point of view, would be a good thing. You know, we're looking at them and their performances. But let's face it, if Spurs watched us tonight, they'll be thinking we're not going to progress much through the Europa League. So it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? I guess I'd rather be in the Champions League than not. But there you go. Hopefully next year we will. Rajendra says, make one up. Use your drum roll. Yeah, maybe I could do actually. Yeah, then we just do 2-0 to the Arsenal, 3-0 to the Arsenal. There's so many different score lines, though, isn't there? So many different possibilities. I could make 500 of them and never use half of them. But yeah, I'll maybe see. But yeah, obviously the 1-0 to the Arsenal is the one that we like, that, don't we? It's famous, especially on a European night. It does take us back all those years ago when we won the tournament with 1-0 wins, didn't we? 1-0 in the quarter-final that year, 1-0 in the semi-final, 1-0 in the final. We wouldn't mind a bit of that again this year, would we? But if the heart can take it, because that wasn't good for the heart tonight, was it? But we got the job done. So that is exactly I say. Did finish here. Arsenal 1, Zurich 0. Kieran Tierney with the goal in the first half. It seems like hours ago now. And yeah, very, very nervy, but we did it. We have won the group, and we get that that sort of, I suppose you call it a bye through the next round, and we go straight into the last 16. So that's great news. Now, what we've got coming up for you on the channel is tomorrow night. It is the Arsenal Women's Weekly. We've got the panel coming in. We're going to be looking back on that game last weekend against West Ham. Good victory in the end for Arsenal. We're going to be looking into Sunday's game against Leicester. And also, we are going to be looking at the situation with Viv Miedemar, who's been given a break away to have a rest and recuperation. So we'll be talking about that as well. Injury to Kim Little, one or two other bits and bobs, loads coming on there. So please join us tomorrow. That is at 7:30 for that show. Then, of course, Sunday, I've got a busy day. It's a busy day on the channel. We have got 2 watch-alongs for you. The first one is, of course, that big game at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea against Arsenal. Kicks off at 12 o'clock. Sorry, we'll be live about 11:45 with all the build-up team news and then full match commentary. And then we'll be going straight in. We'll end that stream and go straight into the women's game, which kicks off at 2 away at Leicester. So we'll try to get there live before it starts. Depends on how much stoppage time we get at Stamford Bridge and God knows what else. So that's what we'll do on Sunday. So that's going to be busy. And of course, next week we'll be back to our usual shows again. The review on Monday. I'm sure the guys will be back for their social extra show as well. And on Wednesday, of course, next week, it's Brighton in the Carabao Cup. We'll be covering that on a watch-along as well. And then there'll be no women's weekly show next Friday because, of course, it is international break for the women. So we'll be looking at doing some watch-alongs of the Lionesses games. And, of course, the final game before the World Cup for the men against Wolves on Saturday evening. Maybe try and get a Wolves fan on to preview that game maybe next Friday, but we'll see about that. But loads still coming up. Rajendra says there 3-0 to the Arsenal, sending good vibes for Sunday. You think we'll win 3-0 away at Chelsea? Wow, if we win 3-0 away at Chelsea, that will be fantastic, won't it? And Rajendra says also 5-0 to the Arsenal for the women. Yeah, we should win that game a bit more comfortably, shouldn't we? Let's be honest. Against Leicester at the bottom side, just sacked their manager today. Actually, Lydia Bedford got sacked today by Leicester, so just ahead of the game that we play, which is a bit unfortunate, isn't it? John says great win for the women last Sunday, both men and women playing. Yeah, keep winning games. That's what it's about, isn't it? The women haven't lost yet. The men have only lost twice in 18 games now, 15 wins. So it's not bad, is it? Good stuff. So yeah, it's been a frustrating night performance-wise from Arsenal, it has to be said. But we got the job done. We've won the group, and that was the aim at the start. You know, it doesn't matter if we win 1-0 or if we won 5-0 tonight. Ultimately, that we still would have won the group and go through as winners. So that's fine, isn't it? So that we'll be happy with that. So yeah, the job's done, and we can now look ahead and look forward to Sunday, which is going to be a different game to this, isn't it? A very different game, different Arsenal team as well, you'd imagine. You know, Zinchenko's back. Will he play? Will he feature in that game? Granit Xhaka will be back, of course, as well. Bukayo Saka probably from the start. Thomas Partey from the start. A lot of changes. But let's hope we can produce a good performance and get that result on Sunday, which would be amazing, wouldn't it? That would be a real statement, wouldn't it? We beat Liverpool this season. If we can beat Chelsea away from home, that would be a real statement, wouldn't it? And just show that this team, maybe we are going to be here to stay, although we've got a big break coming up very soon, haven't we? So, but yeah, we got the job done, and that's all that matters. We move on and look forward to the game on Sunday, which is going to be good, I'm sure. So, so that's that then for the show tonight. Thank you very much for everybody for your company tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have, please give it a like. That would be much appreciated. And don't forget to join us tomorrow at 7:30 for the Arsenal Women's Weekly, with the guys looking back at everything to do with the Arsenal women over the last week or so. It's been a good week again for the Arsenal women, but a few issues as well behind the scenes that we need to look at as well. So that's all coming up tomorrow. And of course, Sunday, as I say, the big watch-alongs, the big double session for me which is going to be good. So please join us for that if you can. Rajendra says, I'll see you next match. Yeah, thank you very much to Rajendra, of course, for watching again in the comments. John as well. Shane, good to see you guys in the chat. Kevin as well, of course, who's been in tonight. Good to see all you guys, everybody else as well that's joined us tonight. Always a pleasure. Hope you have enjoyed the show. Russ as well was in earlier. And yeah, we got the job done, didn't we? Ultimately, that's what matters. It did finish. That's a song that's been played quite a lot in recent weeks, hasn't it? There's been a few 1-0s, and tonight that's what it was. And yeah, we'll take it. We'll forget this game very quickly, and yeah, worry about the bigger, more important games we've got coming up now over the next, the next couple of days, to be honest, on Sunday. So yeah, that was that then. We got the victory. We have scraped through. We've won, and we will be moving into the next round. John says, good night, Richard. Thanks for your commentary. Excellent job again. Thank you much for your support again, mate. Always appreciate that. And good night to all in the chat. Yeah, good night to everybody. Indeed, enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll be back tomorrow with a women's show. Please join us for that if you can. And I say Sunday's a big day for the men and the women. Another 2 victories on Sunday would be very, very nice, wouldn't it? So, yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. Please give it a like. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will see you tomorrow. Arsenal did manage to get the job done. Just a little bit nervy when it was a bit, woo, at the end. It was a bit like, whoa. But ultimately, we got it done, and that's all that matters, isn't it? So, we'll see you tomorrow for the women's show. In the meantime, enjoy your evening. Have a good Friday as well. And, yeah, come on, you Gunners. We are through as group winners. Another win, another 1-0. We move on. Catch you soon, guys. Thanks for watching. See you later. Real Martinelli. It's now with Granit Xhaka. Is it going to be the third goal? It is the third goal. Granit Xhaka with it. That seals it.